So ecological anthropology. So while if they give like this manner, we have to sum up entire chapter. What we are going to study inside the chapter, everything we have to write here. So ecological anthropology, subscribe. Subject anthropology, subfield of anthropology is studied influence environment, study of influence of environment on human and culture and vice versa. Okay. So Ernest Haeckel coined the term ecological anthropology in cultural biological ecology. Julian Stewart, he was founder of ecological anthropology. Multilinear theory of cultural philosophy, biological ecological man and his. So the including the learned responses specific period. So relevance. So help understanding man environment relation depend upon the culture, biocultural adaptation, ethnoecology. Okay. So ecological anthropology not only influence the environment, like cultural ecology, biological adaptation, ethnoecology, studies the influence of man and environment like environment migration. So like importance of the following within and because of changing climatic conditions. So everything is fine, but you should write like what we are studying here. So biological adaptation, the kind of biological adaptation. So from nose form to everything, biological traits, head form, stature. So everything you have to write, cultural adaptation. You can draw a diagram. You can draw a diagram. So environment and culture. Environment and culture. So biological adaptation, environment and humans, biological adaptation as well as cultural adaptation. So you should mention some cultural traits like any cold climate traits, biological traits like any biological traits. So how they formed based on the adaptation of the particular ecology. Everything you should include. So even though it is the summary of the chapter, ecological anthropology means what we are studying inside that entire chapter that we have to sum up here. And the well thing is you wrote relevance of ecological anthropology. It should be a extension or conclusion kind of thing. So that's fine. Ellen and Bergman's rule. Proposed as a plan, the rule states that the body shape and proportional vary climatic temperature by either by minimizing exposure area, heat loss, cold climate maximum exposure area, maximizing heat loss. Okay. Human adaptations state that individuals in warmer areas have larger body appendages than those of species in the colder areas. So Negrotus of Africa. Okay. You can write like while moving from equator to colder climate, the extremity size declines. Okay. Human adaptation to the cold. It states that individual in polar areas have small body appendage than those of. Okay, that's fine. Bergman rule. So here I can write like Eskimo people. Eskimo people living in polar areas have short hands, short legs. So this kind of short appendages. So Bergman rule is ecological principle which states that body mass increases with the latitude. Okay. Increasing in latitude or moving from equator to polar region, equator to polar. Humans are business to eat. Argument will state that individual polar areas have lower body size than those of same species in polar areas. Europeans, Mongolites, okay, pygmies of East Asia. Then what about this one exception, right? Warmer areas have lower body size than those of same species in the polar areas. Okay. Chemama, why did you write this pygmies of Southeast Asia? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Example.
Pygmies, here we have to tell that, right? So they are lean, thin, and tall. So, but here these people are short, right?
Yes, sir.
Pygmies are very short. So, did you find this question, this pygmy example in our text? Is it your own one?
Own unconsent research.
Actually, you should not write like a pygmies while writing the ecological adaptation rules. They were exception people. So all the people in warmer climate, they are tall in nature according to Bergman rule. Then only the surface area exposure is more, the sweating glands are more, then heat dissipation is easily occurs. The pygmies, that is exception type. So human adaptation to cold indicates that in polar areas they have larger body size than the species in warmer areas. So adaptation versus acclimatization. So you can match these two things. You wrote like 4 subheadings, right? So 4 subheadings. You can write under 2 headings only. Bergman rule in cold and hot. So like 2 separate paragraphs or in a single sentence. So that is you can sum up.
Okay.
If you want, you can write this kind of rough diagrams also. So lean and thin rough diagrams, short stature, these kind of rough diagrams. Or else, if you can able to draw your diagrams like animal also, that is fine. But humans is good. So rough diagrams. Actually, in IGNO, they wrote like this kind of cubes, same equal cubes. Another one is tall. So both are same in weight.
Same volume, but
Same in
surface
weight.
area different.
Yeah. So this is portrayed as equatorial. This is portrayed as polar region. Adaptation versus acclimatization. Process of alteration adjusting. Process of alteration or adjusting by which organism adjusts to the environment. That is response from the individual to the selected project. So adaptation is a process of alteration or adjustment by which an organism adjusts to the environment. Responses from childhood to the structural and functional characters. So adaptation means growth and development. So growth and development. So directional change, which involves developmental responses surrounding interaction within the species or other species. Adaptation works at evolutionary and genetic level. Very good. It requires larger period to occur, non-reversible in nature. For example, larger lungs, increased chest capacity among the aborigines at higher altitude is an adaptation responses. Okay. So you can take it as you wrote it right. It's kind of generalized answer. If you put like Tibetans or ants people, so you have so many tribal names. Actually, you encountered so many text tribal names in our text. So you can write those things. Like ethnography, you can write. Acclimatization means getting acclimated to surrounding. It is the process by which organism adapt to new climatic conditions occurs on the presence of extreme. So here you can write what kind of traits involved. So you wrote it right, lung capacity, chest. So other than this, you can write all the characteristics from head forms to everything, from head to top, bottom, everything you can include here. Adaptation means. So acclimatization occurs presence of external structure for larger period takes a slightly larger to occur. Okay. So you can write acclimatization. Acclimatization is a mechanism present in our gene level because of plasticity. So plasticity. Usually reversible, and a person became normal and remove what's called removal of extreme stimulus. Okay. An example, enlargement of muscle in an acclimatized response to exercise when we step increasing muscle and sink and came to a natural condition. Okay. Ecology and diseases, the study of interaction. So what makes your answer is unique here? Hmm? Right. So apart from strides, what we can say that? So trekking also are same. Trekking or mountaineering. So those things they will experience as temporary changes. They will be reversed once they came back. Ecology and diseases. So ecology is the study interaction between. So I think every the basic things or most of the things is covering in Chapterwise test series. So while writing second time as a sectional test, you should give more examples. So more application
Okay.
oriented.
Okay.
Cultural ecology. So you can directly hit on the whatever the demand of the question. So ecology and disease means ecology with pathogens. Okay, contagious and non-contagious. Ecology with nutritional diseases. Okay, so ecology influences culture. Culturally derived disease also can be part of this question. So instead of writing everything like cultural ecology, ethnoecology, so what make it relevant for this question? So that's okay, fine. Ethnoecology, the people present and understanding the nature of them. So biological ecology, these are all the, not required directly. So disease is a pathology anthropology using ecological perspective to understand diseases better. So biological view, they assess the sign and symptoms of particular disease, not only help the understanding of the condition, but also assess how to protect, prevent different. So this is called culture and disease. What you wrote, culture not only help understand. This is how to enlarge our understanding of diseases. That is culture and disease. So there is a separate question for that. But here, so like a tropical related disease, tropical rainforest have specific diseases. So polar regions have specific diseases. Some deep forest areas, they have some specific diseases that we have to include.
Okay.
So for suppose, if you take equatorial Africa, so what is the sickle cell anemia?
Huh.
Sickle cell anemia, thalassemia. Okay. If you go down the south of mountains, there are some times they are suffering with goitri. So iodine deficiency. Okay. So these kind of diseases, wherever a particular ecology has specific diseases that we have to brought out. So these question you will derive answer tribe and health. So tribal and health in paper two. So we have tribal studies. There in their health studies, I placed each tribe facing what kind of environmental related diseases. So malaria is particularly endemic. So your temperate zone, they have specific diseases. Those ecological related diseases only we have to brought out. Discuss the man's physiological response for hot and cold climate. Adaptation. Sweating. So you can segregate this one into adaptation features, adaptation and acclimatization.
Okay.
Half an hour, but can So heat loss, sweating, these are all the things are related to acclimatization. Okay, that is the immediate response. Hypothalamus, increasing the heat rate, increasing blood flow. Okay, peripheral vasodilation, heat loss. Okay, sweating and evaporation. Heat loss. Heat loss occurs through the evaporation through the loss of fluid electricity. Heat loss also depend upon the age. It goes due to the non-accumulation. So hot climatic conditions, acclimatization. So I gave it to hot and cold. Okay. Cold stress. Human body seeks to maintain temperature around 60 centigrade atmosphere. Okay. Cold stress. Conservation of the heat. Temperature. Hypothalamus having gas contractions reduces heat consumption. So here you should write like heat conservation mechanism, vasoconstriction followed by vasodilation. Why? So one time vasodilation. So the extremities subject to the frostbite. So it must be required blood flow comes to the periphery, top of the skin. So then if continually exposure led to the what happened, least loss of the heat. So thereby some duration it causes vasodilation, some duration vasoconstriction. So that is why vasodilation, vasoconstriction. This is the way you have to write in a cold climate acclimatization. So, one way you wrote it, vasoconstriction, slow the heart rate, reduce the pressure. Then again, it went into the vasodilation to protect the periphery. That's what was vasodilation. So, showering, where is showering?
The generic of heat దగ్గర పెట్టండి.
Showering also, that is a response. Conservation, adequate body heat is produced organically through physical activity. For example, inactive individual is exposed by degrees became physically amazing. Falling skin temperature, skin hypothermos, involuntary generation of heat. Bergmans indolence indication of so you should write permanent changes or adaptive changes also. Adaptive changes. So stature. So hot and cold. Hot and cold. Stature. Next one. So extremities. Third one, tail form. Fourth one, nose form. So especially very important is fat. Fat, subcutaneous fat. That also very important thing. So these things, these are all the adaptive responses. Those things also you can include. Acclimatization, adaptation, both should be comes under physiological. So discuss the man's. So in conclusion, these along with culture, these changes along with culture helped us to conquer all type of ecologies. Another statement is final. So wherever you found a generic term like adaptation, so physiological adaptation means it's kind of biological adaptation. Okay, physiological adaptation. Otherwise, if there is a generic term kind of adaptation, you have the freedom to take genetic adaptations as well as cultural adaptations.
Okay. Physiological.
So here physiological response. So that means he might give you like this. Okay. If there is a completely the question direct as biological dimensions only, then it's okay. If it is a generic kind of thing, general kind of adaptation, we will cultural adaptation also followed by the humans. So that also you should include.
Okay.
So hypoxia. The body needs to maintain the present environment. This can be done by acclimatization. Hypoxic condition triggers hypothalamus, stimulate kidney, lungs, cells, increased respiration, increased more energy, increased RBCs, increased lung capacity. Okay, everything. Adaptation. It leads to the high ratio of ventilation capacity in the body. Ladakh people, okay, yes, your chest circumference. So chest volume is bigger than the other people. Decrease in the body size, reduce the body mass, so that body can be supported by low oxygen intake. Small size and the weight of the babies. This doesn't needs to be larger supply of oxygen. Okay. And you can write here underweight babies, smaller size underweight babies. Death rate also very high. You can include that point also. So unique genetic variation, prevent and have a variant of gene maintenance. Okay. Apart from this, adaptations. The conditions causes increasing in mitochondrial So while writing the this kind of acclimatization, so mal acclimatization or mal adjustment that led to the mountain sickness. So if they well adapted, they are well undergone this acclimatization process, that is fine for them. Otherwise, they will suffer with the mountain sickness that is coming up blood from the mouth and all the things. Custom base of the ecological various theories explain the concept. This is actually advanced knowledge. This is advanced knowledge in ecological anthropology. Nobody knows about this one. Cultural ecology, cultural evolution, cultural change is induced by the adaptation of the environment. Okay. So core of the culture always influenced by the environment, energy theory, Leslie White. Okay. Cognitive approach. Cognitive approach. So Herald Conklin, color categorization group, ecosystems approach. So Mahadav Malhotra. Okay. They observed that traditional occupations of the resources. Okay. So Madhav Gadgil. Cultural materialism. So Marvin Harris. Fine. So you could also include this one. Environmental determinism, environmental possibilism.
Okay.
Environmental possibilism. And there is one more concept, environment and cost. So environment and cost. So that already you wrote it like Madhav Gadgil. So Madhav Gadgil. So different costs, they follow different occupations, they harvest different resources. Then there is no conflict. When the British crippled all this economy and they made into the agriculture. So everybody competing with the same resources, that is led to the maladjustment. అది కూడా సో కొంచెం ఏదన్నా పేపర్ వల్ల ఏదైనా పేపర్ టు రిలేటెడ్ థింగ్స్ ఏమైనా కనపడేది దాని మీద స్పెసిఫిక్ ఐ పెట్టించు ఎందుకంటే వాటి మీద ఎక్కువ స్కోప్ we discuss the role of anthropology, understanding health and disease, specific understanding and available with respect to the infectious and non-infectious diseases. Okay. So role of anthropology means here you will write based on the cultural point of view, how each culture perceive this health and disease. So here we will take examples for infection, non-infectious. Role of epidemiological anthropology. How aspects of national environment, pragmatic culture influence trend of the disease living population. Example in Sierra Leone, local community resistant authorities to revenue dead bodies,
Remove
Ebola,
dead
remove dead bodies from the rituals. Okay. So there is one tribe, they have a custom of eating the dead person. Eating dead person
Kuru,
from through
Kuru
which
tribe.
Kuru tribe. Kuru or Kuru? Kuru, right?
Kuru sir.
Kuru. So this kind of thing, culture and the disease means. Not only that, in Indonesia, so they will run after some time, they will collapse. So that is also the interpreted cultural disease. That you should remember. Okay.
Okay.
Alage, if you want to take our Telugu, we don't need to restrict the book knowledge only. Telugu states, how they call this kind of chicken pox and etc. How they locally understood. Those things also. Interpretative approach. Take the way to cultural symbolic meaning, describe understanding the disease. Levi Stark House song sung by shamans in tribe Indians and help them know difficulty delivery. Okay. And if you want, you can take this kind of Ajante tribe also. Everything they saw it as a witchcraft. So everything they saw as a witchcraft. Epidemiological anthropology in the study of infectious diseases. These are all the diseases in which biological agent non-infectious diseases. This disease is not caused by the non-microorganism. They are contagious, caused mainly by genetic environmental factors, diabetes, allergy. Okay. Epidemiological anthropology examines the aspect of natural environment interact with culture. Family patterns, okay, population density, social habits, occupation, etc. So, religious perspective you should also including ways to increase efficiency of human vaccination, ethnomedicine accurate. So, especially in tribal people, so they have the concept of spirit possession. So, spirit possession means malevolent spirits and benevolent spirits. Whenever they got any kind of disease, they attribute it as an attack of the spirit. They will go for the shaman in the first instances. So that is the one of the belief system. Second thing, they have treatment options. So they follow indigenous knowledge, the kind of roots or leaves they use in the forest that help us to understand natural ways of remedy. So that is indigenous knowledge also has the vast scope. So both. What is meant by epidemiological transition? Elaborate upon the cause and consequence and major problems. So, what is epidemiological process pattern of morality? Shifted from pandemic and infections gradually man-made diseases. Other disease patterns are closely associated with the demographic and social transition. So, change in the population growth trajectory and composition of package, change in the pattern of mortality. Epidemiological mortality specific because provided an explanation emergence of modern epidemics like chronic disease, like heart diseases, biological factors. So, why didn't you include those kind of early diseases? So, infectious diseases. You should mention what kind of infectious diseases are there. Cholera, influenza, these kind of diseases. I mean, unsanitary conditions related one. So, lifestyle diseases, biological factors. Microorganisms spread rapidly. So, behavioral factors, Okay, habits, sedimentary habits, predatory habits, more complex. Next changes, non-complex diseases. Socio-cultural diseases. Social people in traditional knowledge and not accepting medical practices like them. So you should study one more time this epidemiological translation. So you wrote it very well, but still we need more knowledge from that book, taking medicine program, guidance, antibiotics. So did I include the causes? Changing of diseases. Public has major role, play public health education system. So why should we study, what kind of knowledge or what kind of application we will derive from this demographic transition, where we can use this concept for welfare of the society?
Population control.
So population control, okay. The kind of the stage of the society based on the diseases. So better understanding led to the creation of better policies, medical policies. Okay, better awareness running programs. You will try to give some kind of possible applications from each topic. So it makes at least 1 or 2 marks extra for us. Nutritional anthropology, social disease and nutritional anthropology. So you can include WHO definition. So while writing the health and disease, you can take the WHO definition.
Social concept of disease ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ include చేయలేదు normal WHO the biological term.
Okay. Understanding the condition, but also assistance. It's like non-covered NCDs caused by certain risk factors like consumption. Mental health problem remedial social cultural practice centers, especially national side of professional exercise is a social cultural view, not only the biological but also important. So, okay, good nutritional anthropology studies the role of biological and social factors in the disease. Yes. So rickets, malnutrition. Okay. So nutritional being an anthropology student, so you have well knowledge regarding nutritional anthropology. So what is the final aim of nutritional anthropology? First thing, so methods to prepare the methods. Okay, to identify malnutrition or classify the people. Second one is advocacy of the policy. So they will act as the inputs for the advocacy of the policy, cross cultural comparisons, cross society comparison, creation of national standards. So introducing the best practices. So these are all the things the anthropology gives to the other subjects. You must including in that.
Okay.
So maternity diagnosis. The father of the child. Maternity diagnosis. Biological father or not. Okay. So not only that, missing children or hospital missing of the children, mismatch of the children, those things also. The genetic study of all persons involved in the dispute and methods, ABO blood group. Okay. Blood group of the child, possible, impossible. Immunoleukocyte, antigen of the blood group system. Okay. DNA listing, PCR, molecular chain reaction, STR, dermatoglypics. Dermatoglypics, how is it possible?
हाँ
Hmm?
सर,
Dermatoglypics, will they reflect the child will have the same type of father?
right sir, but example లో ఇచ్చారు సార్ dermatoglypics and genetic
Okay.
fingerprint.
Mhm. So genetic fingerprints, okay. So here what you will do is you have genetic marker chapter, right? So genetic
Sir,
markers. In that, blood group analysis. Blood group, uh, what are the things? ABO blood group system, RH system, MN system. Okay, these are all the systems we can use for inheritance purpose. So next, tissue level marker, HLA. Apart from that, uh, proteins, blood proteins. So blood proteins are there, blood hormones, G6PD, transferrin, okay, heptoglobins. So these are all follows Mendelian laws. Everything we can use to exclude, not including, exclude the person. So
okay.
more recently, if you want, you are also from medical background, right? So these are all the things earlier traditionally they followed, but right now they are following this kind of DNA, PCR. PCR is 100%. 100% accurate. Remaining things are only used for to exclude the chances. PCR is 100%. Right now, everybody relying on the PCR. To prevent the dispute of adoption, obtain a child support, determine the biological father of a mother. But inheritance, mixing of that. So you can take that example of N.D. Tiwari, very famous example. N.D. Tiwari, okay, one case study. Recombinant DNA technology. Recombinant DNA controlled with the DNA to store fragments behind the technique space. So recombinant DNA technology. So it is used in diagnosis, treatment, and prevention. So these three things you have to write. So in diagnosis, what kind of they use it? This is the interest in using space diagnosis in genetic diseases. Certain diseases in Huntington chorea, hemophilia, autosomal, sex-linked aggression. These are all diagnostics testing. Is it true? So you wrote all the genetic disorders, right? By using DNA.
Yes.
DNA testing means what?